Hello everybody, my name is RenéeQ and you're welcome to the RenéeQ Show, where beautiful, powerful women come and share a part of their lives to inspire and encourage all of us out there. I'd like to say a big thank you to Kibo 100% Natural Spices for sponsoring the show, and also to Tugbeje by RenéeQ for my beautiful accessories. You should get yours soon. Yep. Now, my guest for today is Emmaline Datey. Now, when I said powerful, I meant powerful. This is a woman I met a couple of months ago. We sat on a panel together, and it was just like I just felt like an energy flowing from her to me and back and forth. And I thought I really need to know a little bit more about this lady. And so I brought her on the show to come and share a part of her life to encourage you and to encourage me as well. So I'm really excited today. I'm so glad to have you on.
Thank you so much, Renee, for having me. This is actually a dream come true.
Oh.
Like I told you the last time we met, you're somebody I've admired from afar, and I never knew I was going to meet you the day I did.
Oh.
And I'm grateful to God for it. You're such a blessing. Thank you.
Oh, thank
and
you
of course,
so
my
much.
earrings are sponsored by Tugbeje. Yeah, please. They needed to know.
No, Emmaline, you know what? I have to say this. That the day that we met, that on that panel, you were sitting right next to me, right?
Yes.
It's like everybody else vanished, and it was just the energy that was flowing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. Like, I'll say something and then you add on to it, and then you say something and I'll add on to it.
You know,
and it was just beautiful.
Beautiful.
I just thought, wow, there's something behind that energy.
I know.
Something behind, sometimes people, see you from afar, they admire you and all that, and they think that you just got to where you are, by magic. But there's always a story. There's
Indeed.
always something, and that's why I brought you on, and I can't wait. The mic is yours. Over to you.
Okay, so I think the last time we were on a panel, I shared a little bit about my story. It's not too dramatic, but it's my story, right?
Right.
I grew up in a very average home back in Lagos, Nigeria. My parents left Ghana in the early 80s. My daddy moved because of work, and so my childhood started from there. Grew up, and I always had a sense of God from 6 years old. Right from 6. My parents were Christians and were exposed to the church, but it wasn't through them that I got to know who God was. And I just knew that was different right from when I was 6.
Wow.
And there's always that kind of spirit that follows you when you know you are called at an early age. But I was still a regular child, had a regular life, normal life. And when I was 16, my journey to discovery started at 16 actually. But then I had challenges with, my academics. It got to a point where I became distracted. I think I was trying to find me. There's some people are normal. I wasn't normal. My mom had a problem with me. She felt like I'm the only girl. I needed to follow the path she followed.
But what would you call normal?
So when you say normal, like you love what every normal child would love. I love to be indoors. I didn't like to go out to party. Even when I was 6, when my mom would say, let's go for a birthday party, I would cry.
Wow.
I didn't understand. She'd want to let me be fine. I love to play around with kids and all that, but I just preferred to be home.
There's two descriptors. Is it intrinsic?
I was introverted when I was younger. Quite introverted when I was younger. When I grew up and I became the extrovert. But I don't know whether it was about the personality itself or about God's protection. I can't say. But I've always loved things that were godly from when I was very young. Like, it was very normal for me. I didn't even go to church till I was how old? Till I was after my teens.
So what are the godly things you'd say?
So, we had young people that were involved themselves in these youthful exuberance and peer pressure issues.
Right.
I wasn't into those things.
Right.
I wasn't into those. I didn't have a yearning for it. Right after I finished my WASI, we had a party, like a friend, when we get home, we're going to have a party because we're done with school. We want to explore. I found it was fun. I'm a people person. somebody who likes to bring, joy to people.
Right.
And so I didn't mind being with my friends, my girls and all of that. And I went for the party. I felt different. I just couldn't blend. I was lost. Not because of anything bad, but it wasn't me. So the party went by. I remember I got home. I couldn't even mingle as much as I could. Go home and that was just my life. And right after I finished my secondary school, I could not go into the university on time because I believed I was supposed to be a medical doctor. My daddy was a doctor, my mother was a midwife. So being a firstborn, I believed I was going to walk the path of my dad.
Right.
And so chemistry and mathematics decided that they would frustrate me. So for 9 good years, my sister, I was home. My friends were going ahead of me. My mother made my life a living hell. She couldn't understand why a firstborn she felt I was dumb. Which I actually felt I was dumb and stupid too. Because I believed a certain truth. I believed that I was supposed to be somebody in particular.
Right.
So I struggled. Right. What was weird was that I didn't have the passion for what I was doing. The examination, I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't understand why. But I didn't grow up a dumb child. I grew up very smart till I got to junior high. There was a missing piece, which I discovered much later. So after 9 years, I think I told my mom.
Sorry, so this break for 9 years was because you were not taking the examination?
I was taking it, but I wasn't passing math and chemistry.
Right.
To be a medical doctor, you needed those two to pass.
So you kept taking it and taking it.
I would pass biology, physics, English, geography, but I would never pass those two.
Right.
So I kept retaking. And consistent failure can actually can traumatize you.
Yes.
So I was a bit traumatized.
Right.
But because you see me around people all the time, you never know. But when I went home, I'd always cry because I knew if I went home, my mother would not be happy with me. Right. She actually literally let me know she was ashamed of me because when she went to town and people asked, "How is your daughter doing?" she couldn't say anything. Right. But after at 16, after writing my first what's the word? The NOVDEC.
Okay.
Yeah. So I retook
exam, right.
And then I got introduced to a youth organization where we take care, where they handle young people. It's actually a Christian fellowship, but it wasn't a church.
Right.
Like a Sunday
fellowship.
It was on a Tuesday. It was always on Tuesdays we met. But what they were just into helping young people discover their purpose through talent. So if you could dance, if you could sing, you could act, you wanted to join the ushering team, if you wanted to be a poet, if you wanted to be whatever. And at that time, that was when contemporary gospel music started coming out, the Kirk Franklins and stuff. So those days, it wasn't normal to see a Christian dancing to lively music and all of that. So I remember those times they used to call us cultists because they felt that when we were doing things that were off, God's work. But then I found myself much more fulfilled doing that. Helping people discover themselves. Right. So we were dealt with people were dealing in drugs, teenage pregnancies.
So you were actually helping them.
Yes, I joined the leadership team.
Okay.
I started from beginning. I joined every department actually till I became the head of the women's. Then youth leaders were integrated into the youth leadership and all of that. So I got to that level where I became a mentor of a sort as young as I was. So from 16 till date.
That's what I was going to say. When you said till,
I was going to start hold on, I'm still doing it. I was going to ask you,
but when has it ended? You are still a mentor.
I'm still a mentor,
Yes.
And that was it. So I was supposed to be a medical doctor. After 9 years, I sat down outside. I said, God, I have been mentoring people for years. And everybody I mentor, they're going ahead of me. What is wrong with me?
Right.
I'm supposed to be your daughter. I'm supposed to be somebody who you have your promises are supposed to be really. Why am I a disgrace to myself and my family? And God asked me a very nice question. Who told you I wanted you to be a medical doctor? And I'm like, so you couldn't tell me these things?
You may be right, but did you ask him then?
Well, I remember I used to pray and ask God to help me out of my situation.
Right.
He could have just told me, okay, the solution is that. But he kept, to be honest,
what was the prayer though? Because most of the time, the prayer would just be, help me pass.
That was actually the prayer, help me pass. But it never happened. And you're right. I think that until I asked the right question,
Right.
I did not get the right answer.
Right.
So in the middle of that, I remember I attempted to commit suicide because the depression became real. I became lost, hopeless. I couldn't hear God anymore because I felt the pain was so deep.
Well, you're not hearing what you wanted to hear.
To be honest, I couldn't hear anything. If I was even hearing something, there's that walk you have with God where it feels like you're in the wilderness on your own. And we think we're on our own, but no, He's actually there, but it's intentional. That silence is necessary for you to learn, right? So I tried to take my life, but then there was something on the inside that just told me, Emma, nah, I know that you are very anxious, but no, this is not it. Like there was something that refused to let me end it at that point. So I decided to change my mind. I said, okay, I had a decision to either end my life or endure the pain. And endure the pain to what end? I didn't know. So I chose the latter. And that was when I continued. You know, when you're just somebody in your life doesn't believe in you, it's painful.
Did you ever have a discussion with her? I mean, you know, African parents.
So I don't blame her.
It's
to be honest,
difficult.
To be honest, I don't blame my mom. That was the best she knew, because before she died, I'm happy that she became proud of me before she passed. I mean, she now understood me. The problem, and I've learned parenting. Children will never be like you. You can't expect that.
But sometimes parents, especially African parents, sometimes they want to
live through their children, which is what my mom tried to do through me. And we always fought a lot. My dad was the only one who understood me. He never gave me pressure. Every time I failed, he was always one that told me to keep pushing. He would tell me, you will be a graduate. He told me I'd be an entrepreneur. That was one prayer I didn't want to come to pass. I didn't understand. And today, I find myself being an entrepreneur. Yes, you know, exactly.
Being a market woman. I don't know why everybody.
I don't know why. Not even that. I was scared. No, I was scared of doing it alone. Like entrepreneurship is about leading, taking this. I didn't want it. I think I thrived better taking instructions from people and doing it well, which I did. You know, when I was young, I volunteered so much. I supported a lot of people. I got mentored. Right. You know, so it was easy for me. If Renee tells me this is the vision, that's all you need to tell me.
Yeah,
I will create
the direction.
Don't bother yourself. You will come back and meet results.
So was it like a fear of actually beginning yourself?
Yes, like I couldn't understand me being in that seat that I'm the one I'm giving instruction. I'm leading my life. No. Right, I was like, I didn't think I could. I was up to the task because if I'd been failing in my exams, what would make me succeed? So that confidence in myself, I didn't have it. Though I was a confident lady, but there's certain decisions I would not take. Right. So when finally God asked me the question, like, yeah. So all this while I was working with you and all that, I was actually missing wisdom, you know. And I told my mom, you know what, at that time my mother was actually pushing me to come to Ghana. I should leave Nigeria, come and further education. I didn't want to leave Nigeria because Lagos was all I knew. My life was there. Right. So change for me, I was scared. But since it wasn't working for me, I said, you know what, Mom, let's do this. Unwillingly. Wow. So she gave me the forms, and then I looked at everything. My mom also I was going to end up being a church, a minister or a pastor or something, because I was deep into it. I mean, I gave my life to it. So I wasn't even reading. That was I had exams. I wouldn't read because I told myself I was going to church. If you are looking for me, my mother would tell you there's only one place you find them.
Go to church. Monday to Sunday. She was always upset. I'm not there to help her in the kitchen. I'm not there to help her with the house chores. I am there. Wow. So I look at theology. Nah. As much as I love God's work, I didn't feel it. So I looked marketing. Nah, my mother wanted to do marketing. I said, marketing, yeah. No. Then I saw human resources. I've never heard of this word before. And I read about it. What I saw about it was the fact that it's people oriented. Helping people discover, in the organization, directing them. And so I read deeper, like, this looks like what I'm already doing. Right. That's true. That's how I ended up in the HR profession. Yes. No. Say it properly. That's how I ended up being an HR strategist. Say it properly. Exactly. That's how I ended up being an HR strategist. I'm like, oh my God. So there was stuff. I felt like there's something for me. You know, for what you're saying, you were saying that you were failing the exams because you didn't have any excitement, you didn't have any passion. You know, when you're not passionate about something, you can't succeed in it. Thank you, my sister. That is one thing everybody must understand. You must be passionate about something to succeed. Right. It doesn't matter
whether you even know a God exists. Have you noticed atheists, people who don't even regard God, you see how they are pushing because they believe in what they're doing. The only thing different is that they don't understand that there's eternal life after this world, right? But there's a principle God has left for everybody. And if you know him, he won't care. And I love how he treated me. He didn't treat me, just because I call his name, I pray to him. No, he made me go through my stupidity.
Through it. So that you will learn.
Today I'm sitting here talking to you with wisdom. And that's the word.
Then you can teach somebody else. Listen, sis, we have to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Oh my goodness, Emma! This has to be like it's series. I don't think it's a one. No, but I say I love what you just said about God taking you through the process and not just pulling you out or covering you or shielding you.
So when I see people who say they believe in God and are like, you put on who you are dealing with, though. He doesn't deal with lazy people. Laziness is not part of his dictionary. You will go through the routine. You will go through the process. He wouldn't take you through a shortcut. No. And for him, I've learned that delays are not delays. No. It is necessary for in the eyes of the human being is the delay. In him, it is
growth.
Is the process, is the journey. I never knew you should just enjoy the journey. Don't forget about the destination. I never knew. So I sit down at my age and I regret that in my 20s I didn't enjoy my journey because I was failing so much. I didn't understand that failing is not bad. Failing is necessary.
Oh my goodness.
I was failing, and then when God showed me my path, and that is the thing, I succeeded because I understood my purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you keep failing. So my eyes lighted up. I was like, Mom, I'm going to study this. I didn't know anything about it, but my mom said, okay, we'll do it. For her, as long as I was going to Ghana. As long as you're going. I got to, and I chose human resource thinking I won't do mathematics, to be honest. That was the second reason I got to school. I was shocked. But I decided, listen, I have come this far. I have been through so much. I think it's time for me to understand how to learn. Because people who are passing, there's no difference between myself and them. Fortunately, I have two brothers who are very smart. And they have maintained that for them, they had no problem passing their exams. So I went to the same school with my brother, the one after me. And I said, you know what, you are the maths guru in the house. Humbly, I told him every time I come back from school and every time I had a maths course, I will sit with you and you take me through.
Wow.
And he did that for me.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I began to learn.
You're the older one.
I'm the eldest in my home.
Yes, and that's why I like you said, I like the fact that you used the word humbly.
Yes, I had
because
to.
Sometimes we think that when we are older, we must know it all.
You see? And I knew it. I saw him going forward. I like, no, I must go through and see how he's doing
me
it.
Along.
Exactly. And my brother would see a business maths question. He was doing computer science. And the kind of business maths we do is not what he does. But he will look at it and then, before I know it, he's like, yo, how did you get here? But then I opened my mind. Then I also learned, God taught me that, listen, this mind, you can control it. You don't necessarily need to pray. So those days when you used to pray, you say the Holy Spirit will give you and will bring understanding to you. It wasn't working, I was still feeling. But when I understood the power of my mind, then it worked. So I'm like, God, there's so many things you're teaching me that nobody teaches me but from my experience. So I learned my learning style. I got to understand that I learn better early in the morning. I'm not an external person for learning, because you think that people who learn in the night, if you learn with them at night, you will pass. No. Then I had study groups. So
you can go and
networking.
Things,
Identify your purpose, position yourself properly, then network. So I found people who also like to study. I would be around them. And then my 4 years, I came out of first class. A first class student with a past of failure. When I even got to school, what I got into university aggregate 25.
I hope you are clapping. I hope you are all clapping.
Aggregate 25. Wow. That was the lowest.
Class.
But I came out with a first class.
Fantastic.
I didn't copy anyone. I didn't have to pray and fast. I just understood the assignment.
When you understand it, you can do it.
And my sister, that process has helped me till date. I apply every aspect of that process in my life today. So when I was in school and I failed, I was like, oh wow, now I know how not to do this again. That was my attitude. I could get
you learned something from the failure.
When I got a 0, if I got asked me, why did I fail? When I know that, when you know your why.
Right.
Says when you know your why.
But I think that's how life should be.
That's exactly what life is.
When my son was, I think, 2 or 3, there was this game on my iPad or something, that this baby game, and there was one time he was crying, and I was like, what is it? And when I went, I saw the word fail flashing in his face.
Wow.
And he started crying, and I was so angry. And I was looking for like what game it was to send a message to, that why.
Because psychologically,
quickly, let me say, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, but why can't he fail?
What's wrong with it?
And another question I got was, but why we're not allowed to fail as children, but we should allow them. We should allow them.
Absolutely.
So from then, I just taught him, it will come sometimes, and what do you do when you fail? What do? You try again. So even now, he can say, "Mommy, I failed.
Exactly.
I'm going to do it again."
That is it.
So I just thought, I wish I knew that as well.
In Africa, we're not trained to fail.
Sometimes it can break you.
It breaks you, sis. It breaks you.
Will say to you
but
that they're ashamed of you, but you
feel it.
Ashamed of yourself.
When I go for career summits, I always use this my life to speak to them. You will see. You will think some chains have been broken. They'll come to me and they're like, thank you so much. I have been struggling. They have not fed up to when I tell them I feel work for 9 years, they shout that, hey, 1 year and then they are worried. I mean 9. And I see my story rather as an inspiration to the young people. Right. That is why you see me do a lot of youth mentorship. Because if they don't get it right at that age, my sister, they will become broken men and women.
Right.
You see marriages are failing, people are not succeeding, social vices are increasing because your mommy and daddy makes you think that you must succeed all the time. It's not true. So failure is a tool for success. That is my mantra. So back in the day, people will see me, Emma, we failed, and they see me, I'm laughing.
You're happy about it, so you don't care.
You know where I'm coming from? Do you know what I've been through? But then they will say that at the exam, I will ace it. Because when I failed, I went back home to learn again.
To check.
Why? Okay.
What mistake did I make?
Then I'll go to my lecturer.
That is a tool.
I will ask my lecturer, why did I go? You see, if you are too arrogant, arrogance will never open your eyes to see what is right. I believe in stooping to conquer, my sister. I don't fear or feel humiliated for me to go as low as I need to without losing my self-respect, but to get information, to get knowledge, to grow. So that was it for me. All of those things made me, so people see me and they wonder, why am I so passionate? Why do I do a lot of things?
And it's beautiful.
People I said, my dear.
It's just, I haven't even read everything. I mean, public speaking, you're a trainer, HR strategist, founder of so many different networks. You're a consultant. I love director for West Africa Female Leaders and Entrepreneurs. And look at what you're saying.
All of this was birthed through my process. As people would think that, it's just failing exams. They don't know. We almost took our lives because of that, because our parents believe that you mustn't fail. So I'm glad you've talked about your son. And if you're a mom, dad, you're watching, please do not allow your child feel like he is nobody. Failure is awesome. And I tell people that when a fish is brought out of water and you put it on land, that the fish cannot walk doesn't make the fish stupid. It is not a terrestrial animal. It is aquatic. Vice versa to a terrestrial animal you don't put in water. So your child just needs to find its space, its learning style. Just let the child know that you are okay. It's normal. Society has killed us. And beyond education, even in relationships, people think that it's the end of the world because a relationship didn't work out. No. What did you learn from it? How can you be better? It is who you become from the process that matters, not what happens to you. So instead of what happened, this happened to me, oh my God, this guy broke my heart, oh my God, my best friend betrayed me, oh my God. So who are you becoming? Because what happened will be in the past. But who you will be is waiting ahead of you. So why are you wasting your... So these days,
pick it up and then move on.
I have learned how not to waste my time on pain. When something happens, I process it normally.
Let's talk a bit about that. Not to waste your time on pain. Now, this is one thing a lot of women struggle with. Let's talk a little bit about that. I love what you said. Waste your time on pain. Because there's some. I mean, I'm a very emotional person. I don't think it's wrong.
It's right.
But then
okay.
yes. But then there are also some times where, and my brother helped me with that, where I just was feeling that just because I will give you my all, I was expecting you to give your
back.
all. Yes, exactly. So I struggle with that a bit. Thank God he helped me with one word he told me one time.
Wow.
You know, but a lot of women go through that where we waste our time on pain. Maybe talk to us a little bit on that.
So I love the way you said you were very emotional. I don't know if I'm more emotional than you. I tell myself I'm a bag of emotions. I used to be a warrior. Renee, I could worry for things that have not happened yet. I can foresee the trouble and I'm worried before I get there. So I used to be I used to live in fear.
Right.
I'm afraid.
Right.
But people didn't believe it because I am naturally, so when I evolved, I became an extrovert. People just never thought that I could be sad. People didn't think.
And you see, you're very strong.
Yes,
like,
and that is the way people use.
Yes.
But on the inside, oh my goodness, I can feel so bad. I can break.
Right.
What you wouldn't see on the outside is me weak. So that is me. But if God were to show you how so if you are close to me, I will tell you how I feel.
Yes.
But if you're not close to me on the outside, so people see me and think I have walls. I mean, people have this impression that I cannot be emotional. People think I can't be expressive. But those are very close to me.
You have to choose who you be expressive. I mean, you can't just go and be telling everybody.
You know, there are people
Yes.
they wear their emotions on their sleeves.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm upset, you say I'm upset because I'm always smiling and laughing. The day I don't smile, you know, something's wrong with you. But my sister had to. That was another journey God took me through concurrently with my failure, fear of failure. How not to allow people's hurt and disappointment break you. So I had the point in my life where I also had relationship disappointments, you know, and it was almost like, oh my God. And I like, what is wrong with me? I think I'm the coolest person to hang out with. Why would people not like me? Why would people break? Why would people not want to be with me? I had that. Then that also added to my depression. That added to low self-esteem. Oh my God!
Right. You think you're not good enough.
You think you're not good enough. You think you're not beautiful enough. You're not smart enough.
Beautiful enough.
My
do you
sister,
want me to give you a mirror?
Beauty is mindset too.
Anyway, no, it's true.
Beauty is mindset.
But it also depends on what you've been told as a child and what you've seen and what you define as beauty.
So my dad, like I said, was my hero. He would praise me and all that. But you see, when you're walking your journey alone, sometimes you process things differently. Obviously, what kept me going was the fact that there were seeds sown in my life that kept me. But you will struggle, and that struggle is necessary. And I believe struggle is like a caterpillar. You see, when a caterpillar forms a butterfly, it struggles, but it blooms at the end of the day. So you're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to feel the pain. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to feel angry at God, but don't stay angry too long because you can't win. I've been there. God, it's over between me and you. You're done. And I'm like, so where are you going? If it's not God, then what's the other option? Like, Charlie, you know what? It's okay.
I'm back.
And there's no middle ground too. So God, you know what? You do whatever you like. I don't care anymore. You know, you get to that point. It's fine. Yell. Scream. But what God taught me was that you can have joy with pain. So you can be going through the worst time of your life, but you can still have a party. And there's nothing wrong with it. So I remember when I lost my dad, then I lost my sister-in-law, then I lost my mom, then
I'm so sorry.
Concurrently, year after year. So people looked at me and said, are you sure you lost? Like, no, like you're not breaking, you know. I'm like, what God has taken me through. And I said, God, you've made me go through the harshest pain. Now, when anything goes, it's not like I don't feel emotions, but I have learned how to control it. So I know when to express myself, but I've turned my pain to my power. I remember when I heard TD Jake say that, I didn't understand. He said, turn your pain into your power. So when you hurt me, or when life hurts me, problem for the person who hurts me. You know, I become stronger. I'll go through my mood, but when I get out of it, I'm not the same person you met. I will not be malicious, thankfully. I will not come out with a negative emotion. I come out understanding that it wasn't needed. It wasn't necessary. I needed that experience to make me who I am today. So I look at my past and I'm thankful to God. And God, thank you for not letting it work. Oh my God. The way I was crying, that's what I was crying for. It would have been horrible. I would have regretted. It would even have worked out.
That's why I love that Nasi song. I mean how can I forget it now?
Yes.
There's a part where he says, if I had known that this is what I would have been,
Oh,
or the anchor,
I would never have cried.
I wouldn't
Thank
have,
you.
And that part is just so relatable.
It's true because you've experienced it, sis.
Yes.
So I tell women, pain is normal. Pain is gonna come, it's gonna go, but you will stay. And God hasn't made any human being to not outlive pain.
Right.
Pain would.
Right. Everybody will go.
But you would be there when pain will leave. What is important is look ahead of you, look beyond the pain, learn to. And I think what we also don't do well is to accept it. We want to live in denial. How could he have done this to me? How could she have done that?
Yeah.
She did it, and so what?
Yeah, no, that's so true.
So I in my mind, I dare people, please misbehave. Please misbehave. I know what I'll be if you do. It's gonna help me better.
Right.
You know, now I'm not scared of failure anymore. I'm not scared of rejection. I'm not scared of disappointments. I'm not scared of my plans not working anymore,
right,
because I know who holds it. You know, I saw a quote that said, there's a level of confidence where even when things are not going your way, you know that the God that called you has not disappointed you. So and that's you get to that point where it becomes a lifestyle. In the beginning, you will struggle to believe these things; they become cliches to you, but you will live through. So when God leaves you, so the reason why God allows pain is because when He gives you a word, you may not understand it, because the word has to be relevant to what you're experiencing, my sister. You understand what I'm saying? So until what I went through, then I began to now put the pieces of the puzzles together, and then it made sense.
I remember it was very, very funny. And I'm sure, I mean, we make God laugh. Sometimes I wonder, I wonder, you know,
I tell you,
just like drinking his water somewhere and then just laughing at us or something. Because I remember there was one time I was struggling with something and I was just like, why? I was just asking myself, why? You know, and I just felt the Holy Spirit say to me that if I don't go through it, how will I take people through it?
Exactly.
But the question I asked was, well, who said I want to take somebody?
Yeah, you always ask God. We didn't ask you to be your soldiers. We didn't ask you.
And as soon as I laughed, because I was just like, then I was like, I'm sorry.
I do the same thing to have those moments too.
Yeah, but I was thinking, but it's so true. Because when you haven't been through it yourself,
it's not going to be relevant to you, my sister.
Same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
At all. And you see, God gives you the pain you need. He gives you relevant pain.
The purpose that He has for you.
You've closed the whole thing. So we don't dwell on pain because there is purpose.
Right.
So I tell every woman, if you're a woman of purpose, pain is going to be your alibi.
Right.
Pain will be your ally, your friend. So anybody that tries you, you are ready for it.
I just love what you said, you know, before we just, you know, took a break about pain being your ally. That once you're a woman of purpose,
pain is your friend. What is pain to you? So now I tell my kids, when we're watching action movies and you see people who are supposed to be superheroes and they're supposed to be dying when they hit them, but they're still standing. They've been hit before. That's not the first time they got a hit, and they've gotten used to it.
So you see scars on
all
them
over,
and everything.
And that's the thing. You should be proud of your scars. A lot of women are ashamed of their past. Why? And so what? Please move. There are people with worse.
Wow, you're just reminding me of so many things. I'm telling you, listen, there was one time that I was at a women's convention, and on the last day, the presence was just so amazing. And I remember I just lay prostrate, and I was just praying, and I heard, and I was crying a lot. I was crying. And then I just heard the Holy Spirit say to me that many of you are crying like this. And you are asking me why? But you haven't done anything to me, and you haven't done anything wrong. But I need you. And then I was like, need you for what? You know, and the word that I got, which was so real, which I always share, was the Lord saying that many people are not believing His word in the Bible. Nowadays, everybody wants evidence. So once I tell you something, show me.
Exactly. So evangelism has evolved.
That is it, you know. And everybody is asking. He said, "You are my scars. You are my evidence."
Come on.
So you would tell them when you are sharing the stories, I am the evidence. I am the evidence. Like
that is it, my sister. That is it.
So I just thought that day, I just said, hey,
that's powerful. This is very powerful.
I was just like, wow, I have scars that I can show you. and I'm just like, wow.
Sis, there's I manage I co-manage a mom's network, right? And this came about because an adopted sister of mine in the UK, she's into relationships, and I helped her to build it up and all that, and we became co-partners in it. And then we had women coming to her DMs, they are married or single moms, and either have financial issues or emotional issues. So we decided to create a space for, call it Real Moms Connect. And you see a lot of moms coming in with their issues, with their problems, and my sister is able to meet them, because during motherhood, she had her challenges. So when she tells me her story, then I understand the reason why she's doing this ministry.
Right.
You can't birth purpose if you don't go through pain. It's not possible. I discovered my purpose because of my pain. I didn't know I was always going to be a doctor. I had imagined myself working in a hospital. But no, the pain I went through wasn't connecting. And there is no way God is going to also mess up his plan for your life. So for every woman watching this, you need to be friends with purpose. Once you know your calling, everything becomes easier.
Then the question you get, the number one question in conferences, what's the number one? How can I find my purpose? How do I know? I mean, that's the number one question.
Everybody keeps asking that question, but if you don't go through the process, how would you learn? One of the things I also had to do was to learn from people. Don't be a woman sitting at home. If you're married regular, just take care of your homes, cook for your husband and kids, and that's it. Who are you learning from? Who are you gleaning from? Who is your mentor? Who is coaching you? You need somebody to be held accountable to.
Who are you looking up to?
What's your social network? Who are the people in there? Are the people that inspire you to be greater, or people that come and tell you bad things about your marriage, or encourage you to mess up your marriage, or people that will inspire you to be strong and seek counseling, pray and all that? If you believe in prayer, or are they living examples for you to want to be better? If you're not around those people, your life will be a mess. And I tell people that this time of us, we couldn't have avoided what we go through because there's a calling.
Wow.
And when we say calling, I tell people, calling is not pulpit. For me, I'm not called to the pulpit. Me, I know. I finished my pulpit work in 2011. I finished serving the church, and then I began. So everything I'm doing is outside the walls of the church. I am still impacting people, still making sure. So for me, my goal is to make sure, whether in human resources, whether when I'm doing my small business coaching, you must identify your calling. Because if you don't know who you are a total failure. That is the beginning of. See, there are people who think they are rich, but you are a failure. In God's eyes, because you're not living His life.
You're not even fulfilled. You're empty.
You've hit the word. You've hit the word. Fulfillment. How do you know your purpose? What gives you fulfillment? What makes you happy? Some of us are afraid of trying something out of the ordinary. What will people see?
Hey, that's the thing.
That's matter that has. My mom used to tell me I don't have shame.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that I don't care about. I said, me care about what people think. The day I start caring about what people think is the day I will die. Like, for what? How are they?
How did you get to that point, though?
I think first of all, it's innate. It's a personality thing for me, right? I just wouldn't feel the need to be ashamed of something I believed in. So people see me and say, some people have called me stubborn, but for the right reasons. When I believe in something, I stand on it. I stand firmly until I have a reason. There's a reason for me to change it. But till then, I stand by it.
So even if people are saying things to you and all that, until you...
My sister, I can be the only one standing within 1 million people. I won't move. When I was younger, I remember those days, fashion, the trends. I didn't like it. I felt, why should I be like everybody else? So I used to wait. When the fashion is past, then I'll not start wearing it. Because I think I love to stand out.
You don't want to be amongst the...
I don't like it. I have a problem with buying clothes that are on the same line that you can find everywhere. I think some ladies are like that anyways. But then what I will do is I will wait. Let it pass. Then when I wear it, looks like it is new. So I've always been that way. So my mom didn't understand why I would tell people about my problems. I say, Mom, I'm trying to make an impact. What am I ashamed of? Those scars are the scars that Christ had is what has saved me today. So if I can also share the same scars with people, why can't I do the same? So for me, it says there's some women who are introverted, some women who are naturally shy. It's okay. Don't compare yourself with anybody else. God made you the way you. There's strength in your shyness. There is strength in your introvertedness. Just find your purpose, and God will turn everything to work out for your good. That's all I can say about
and
that.
it can be in any area.
Any area, every area.
I like that you emphasize about not being on the pulpit, because many people have that mindset that to do the work of God you have to be there, but you can do the work of God everywhere. You can do everywhere.
Not everybody will come to the church.
You know what? I just remembered this. Just last week, I was at the salon. And every time I go to the salon, my hairdresser and I had different conversations. And there was this time that she started talking about Apostle Joshua Selman. And she said she started listening to him, and many things, some struggles that she was going through, she said, she's getting out of it. So as she was saying this, she said, Mamimbo Bibi Mao, let me play one of his sermons. And then she just started playing it in the salon. So, it was on it was speaker, everybody could hear it.
That is very powerful.
There was a lady sitting there, and she was, getting her hair done quietly, everything. She was just sitting there. When it got to the end and he said, if you would like to give your life to Christ, please repeat after me. Then my hairdresser just tapped me. She said, look. I turned and I looked at the lady. She was
praying.
She was shaking like this. Oh my goodness, that day I just said, God, you are too strong.
Wow.
So the purpose of her playing it for me was not for me.
For you.
It was not even for her. It was
for
to
somebody
save
else.
the life of somebody.
Look at that.
She's done the work of God
in a
right
salon.
there. In a salon. It can be anywhere.
That is it, my sister.
It can be anywhere.
That is it. You just have to shine. Be courageous enough to shine your light. And people think courage is the absence of being timid. Is doing it anyway. Whether they will laugh. People see me like, how can you be on stage the way? And every time you are so confident, you can hold the mic. Do you know how long I've been doing holding mics? Do you know when I started talking to people? When I was 16, I was speaking to young people. People noticed who I was, and they pushed me to it, and I took the opportunity.
Right.
So I'd been doing that since 2000. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
And this is 2024. I've been doing it for so long.
I'm doing my quick calculation. I'm doing my quick calculations to get your age.
Oh, please, I am proudly 41. Proudly 41. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Just accept yourself for you are. Don't be like Renee. Don't be like Emma.
Right.
Be you. Like
Right.
Belamundi will say.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
And be comfortable being yourself.
Right.
I know what it feels like to want to be like another fellow lady. You feel she's prettier, she has it all. So what I used to do, I learned that when you appreciate something, you become it.
Right.
So I began to appreciate. If I see that I'm like, this lady is beautiful, and I commend you and I appraise you.
But that's really good.
Yes,
that's really good.
Yes,
that's really good. It also builds your confidence and your self-esteem.
It did actually.
I think that what I noticed, sometimes people say that women, we are our worst enemies and all that. What I've learned is that a lot of the time, for no reason, when you meet a woman and she just nasty to you for no reason, she's intimidated by you.
She is insecure, actually.
And insecure, and you haven't even done anything. She sees you and she has put yourself in, created you for her,
an image in her mind. You haven't done anything. Put yourself on a pedestal and like, okay.
and you didn't even step. She took the step for you.
I mean,
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
And then what I always say is be inspired. Don't be intimidated.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is like being inspired.
Oh yes, I just get inspired. Oh, Renee, your earrings are lovely. You're so beautiful. The more I tell you that, the more beauty finds me. And people who you see who are insecure, they become snobs. You know what to do? It's not difficult. Hi, is that your hair? God, your skin is beautiful. I tell you, that's ice, it will break.
Oh, that's my tool now. That's why I'm laughing. But sometimes I get tired.
Oh, but it works. It works all the time.
It works. Seriously, especially when I go to the bank. So I'm walking to the teller. I'm like, hey, Bonnie Bay, what have I done? Then I get there and I'm like, when I was waiting in the queue, I just saw then they'll say, oh, hi, I follow you on Instagram. And I was like, thank you, follow me. Why did you smile at me?
My sister, human beings.
I've learned that. So ladies, that's the trick, ladies. Be nice to each other.
Honestly.
Compliment each other. Just say something about the wig. You get
I'm telling you, you'll get the right body language.
Wow.
Yes. So I think that
it's
success.
A great story.
Thank you, my sister. Perspective is everything. Perspective. So what didn't happen the way you expected? So what things took their time? You started right. You've never done anything wrong in your mind. You think you've always done things right, but you expected the results of doing things right. But it looks like you actually did the wrong thing, and people doing the wrong thing got the right thing.
Right.
That is not God's concern.
Right.
His concern is who you are becoming. Because the person who's having it easy is remaining where the person is, and you are being elevated.
Yes.
And when you are elevated, who will be celebrated? Is it not you?
Right,
Right. And then you will not leave that person up. Indeed.
I like it.
I know, when elevated, you are celebrated. Yes. I tell you. Yeah, these things I share are things that I tell people. I haven't read a book to see it. When you've been through it, it comes out naturally. So, Emma, how come you're able to write motivational quotes? It's the life I've lived. I sit down, I can be speaking, I can be thinking, and then God just drops it in my heart, and I'm writing it down. And I know it is somebody's word. I have to share for somebody. Right. So I've been sharing since 2003 on Facebook. I started sharing motivational stuff, and that's how this public speaking thing came about. Because people believe that when you're able to share, they think, oh, this woman has a lot of messages. They don't know what is going on, So just enjoy your life, women. Oh my goodness, please live your best life.
Speak to somebody out there.
Live your best life. Yesterday is gone. Oh, you won't have it again. Your birthday, you need to have money. Just whatever you can do to make it memorable, do it. Don't compare yourself to somebody who's able to get the big balloons and all of those things and do the party. However you can celebrate yourself, please do it. Ask for help. There is nothing wrong with it, really. We are shy women. We feel like if I tell Renee my problem, she use against me. I get it. But get to know Renee and know if she's somebody you can talk to. You cannot keep your problems inside. You will die a natural death. Find a healthy space, a healthy support network, and be there and be involved. So that people who find themselves in networking communities, they don't do anything.
I know, they go to a press and I was waiting for you to come.
They're just there. Whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's in person, you cannot grow if you don't do anything. You just do something as little as you the one cleaning the chairs. Just little, or just saying good morning, you're welcome. Do something for somebody to. Oh, I've been noticing you every time I come. You greet me. Take my card. That is the beginning of your destiny. Yes. Some of us are sitting on our blessings because we are thinking about yesterday. How has yesterday helped you today? And how will it help you tomorrow? No. So keep going. Just keep going, my sister. It's looking crazy even ahead. Keep going. Just keep going. There's somebody ahead of you waiting for you to land safely.
There's somebody watching now.
Oh, there's somebody.
I'm sure somebody is crying and thinking, you don't know my pain. I'm sure somebody is watching and thinking, I really need help. What can you say to a woman like that?
So let me say something I forgot to say when I was talking about the Moms Connect thing we do. One of them lost her son, 20-year-old son. And I saw this woman just change in the space of how many days. Of course, losing a child is difficult. And she was messaging me. Funny enough, she was still involved, asking me, I'm sorry, we were helping some moms with Christmas stuff. They couldn't afford Christmas. Right. So we raised money and then we bought some Christmas hampers for them, like food and stuff for them and their kids. And she said, she apologized and said she wants to also donate. I said, you too. You just finished burying your son. You've not barely even 1 week. I said, it's okay, you send it. And then we were chatting. And usually in Ghana, we don't know how to empathize with people who lose people. We think by saying God gives and God takes, shedding. It is well.
My goodness.
You are killing the person even worse. And then I told her, she complained that, can you believe her pastor has called her to come and lead prayer meeting? I said, my sister, please, pardon we Africans. We don't know. You just tell them you're not available. She said, it's even online. But how does he expect her to be in the right frame of mind? And I said, respectfully decline.
But that's one thing too. We don't know how to say no. That's another thing too.
Thank you for bringing that topic. Thank you for bringing that topic, my sister. The art of saying no. Women it's very difficult for us to do it. And I told her, I said, listen. Then I began to share my story. How when I told her, I understood what she was going through because so when I began to narrate my story, she shouted, Jesus, what am I reading? To seem like as if she's crying over one child. I'm crying over. She's like, how did I do it? And I said, obviously, I can't take the credit. But what I will tell you is that there will be days when you feel certain ways. And because I'm now into wellness, I found myself into employee mental health and wellness as well. I mean, I'm inculcating those things into HR these days.
Right.
So wellness is important for me these days. Your mental health is very
important.
important.
About that.
Yes. So I'm able to get into that space with her, and I said, listen, you will feel this way. You go through the cycles of grief. Don't be upset. Go through it. In fact, make sure you go through it. If you escape it, it will show up in a place you don't need it to.
Yeah.
How you feel is normal. There are days where you are numb. There are days when you are lost. It's fine. But I said, sis, hey, with all these things I've stated, it won't kill you. All of these things you go through, you will come out of it and you will find power in it.
Yes.
You will find power. It's okay. It's normal. People want to hear practical things. Don't make people feel like robots. Emotions must be felt. That's why they're called emotions.
Right.
If you ignore it,
it
will meet you where you don't need it to meet you, and that could be very embarrassing for you. So deal with it now. That is why when you are in pain, you don't need people around you so much. You just need your therapist and then your loved ones and your quiet space.
Talk about therapists. Talk about therapists. This mental health is one thing that's become very
it's emerging in Ghana actually.
Yes now, and it's really important, but the thing about mental health, and especially in Ghana, I don't know other African countries, but once you start talking about mental health, once you start talking about talking to a psychologist, and the what comes to mind is madness, and many people are ashamed of that, are shielding themselves, but they need help. Now, I asked the question, do we have the right psychologists here in Ghana? And how does one even, find one if one is going through something?
In fact, we actually do. Fortunately, I work with a company that has the whole resources of them, like loads of it. You see, the mindset that when you have a mental breakdown and it's madness, obviously stems from cultural beliefs and all of those things. We are beginning to educate people these days that it's okay to have a mental health break. Like, just go on a break once you feel like there's so much happening with you. Don't ignore every little impact you get emotionally. Don't ignore it. Just take care of it. As simple as going to the beach and looking into the waves. Do you know that's therapy? I tried it one time. I couldn't believe the impact. One time I was so tired, my sister, I was under pressure. I just told my sister, please drive me to the beach. I just want to just park there. And I kept watching it. I felt so relaxed. I couldn't believe it. As simple as that. Nice music. On YouTube now we have resources for relaxing yourselves. They're not some of them are quite funny, but we have the healthy ones. We even have the gospel ones. They're making you just listen to rain sounds. Piano music, gospel music. Some even speak the word, and you sleep with it. It's there. It helps a lot. There's nothing wrong with it. And then we have counselors. We do have them licensed, and they're available. Please, they're available. There's one of them, Supreme Healthcare Management Services. I could say I recommend wherever you can find them, wherever you want to find them. But then there are a lot of them. Please don't be shy. Like, if you need help, go for it. There's nothing wrong with having a mental health issue. Madness is more psychiatric and it's on the health level, medical level. But with mental health, it's more of a psychological. So going for therapy is normal. You just want to be fine. Finding balance is okay, my sister. And there are people who are even therapeutic in your life. Your friends.
Yes, some.
Some friends. Some of you, your spouses. You do that. You are like that with each other. Some of your kids. Don't binge eat. Don't do things that will be unhealthy. Don't take drugs. Don't drink. It will make you come back to reality and find that it's there.
Be worse.
Exactly. So I think the key is finding the right people to share your story with, and understanding that it's normal to have those things. It's basically normal. I said when you find yourself in a network of people who have been through what you're going through, it's easier. It's much easier because you can relate. So you don't feel alone. So don't be alone. I also have my moments. Renee has a moment, but we manage it very well.
If I start my moments, we'll do part 3. I'm just so happy, about this program, that I have beautiful women, powerful women, willing to come and show that they are not
we are not superhumans, please.
Exactly,
We are not.
superwoman. Yes, you know that we are real. That we go through pain. We go through, you know, shame.
Yeah, lots of it.
Yes. But you need to stand. I would like to. The word intentional just came to mind, and I would like you to talk to women about being intentional.
So this word intentional has also become a very good friend of mine. You need to be, what's that word? Resilient.
Right.
You see, when you're resilient, it means that no matter what comes to you, you're focused.
Right.
Intentionality brings focus into your life.
Right.
I made an intention to be who I am today by doing what I'm doing. Being intentional is developing the right habits that will lead you to success. In a simple terms. Having the habits, making choices that will lead you to where you want to. You can't say I want to go to America and sit here.
Yeah.
I'm not being intentional.
Yeah.
If I'm intentional, I go and buy my visa, get a visa.
Right.
God willing, they don't bounce my passport. I buy my ticket. After I buy my ticket, I buy my cold clothes and all those things, and I'm gone. Then that's being intentional.
Yeah.
What decisions are you making to change your life? Who are you waiting for? You're waiting for your husband, you're waiting for your mother, your father. No. Do it yourself. In fact, you inspire your family when you're able to hold on to your the reign of your destiny, and you move. Obviously, they don't support you and cheer you on, but you need to move.
Right.
Nobody will move for you. So, I know some people will say, at this point in my life, I don't feel like doing anything. It's just normal. We've all been there. Take a breather.
Yeah.
But don't stay there for too long. Don't stay down. That's what I'll tell women. Be down, but don't stay down for too long. You need to understand that there is something waiting ahead of you. If you have kids, you have something to live for. When I lost my sister-in-law, I took on her kids because they're my brother's children. Okay, my mom was supporting, and then she also passed a year after.
I'm so sorry.
And so we had to now find a way to manage. I juggle so much, right? And it's because where I'm going is so important to me. This is not a hindrance. So I put things in place.
Wow.
Okay, I've gotten support, I've gotten help. I'm not afraid to ask for help because I need to get where I'm going. I'm intentional about where I'm going to. So if you come into my life and you notice that we don't gel, it's because we don't have the same passion. I'm intentional about my life, so I won't choose you. You know, yes, and then saying no, saying yes where it matters, and hold on, I'll get back to you. Right. It's all part of it. You don't have to say yes to no all the time.
Sometimes we take too much on. We are stressed. We know we are stressed. We know we cannot do it, but we just because you want to please
people.
And sometimes we make very wrong mistakes, very wrong choices
based on what people would say or how people feel towards us.
Trying to please.
And I even discovered something. You know, every time the new year is coming, you're supposed to put down goals and sit down. They said, relax. Don't stress yourself. Even you waking up the next morning is a good New Year resolution. Don't give yourself unnecessary blood pressure.
Yeah.
Take it one step at a time. John Maxwell said, success is not you arriving at a grand destination. He said, every step you complete is success. So if I climb the staircase to the next one, I've succeeded. Even if I did not come upstairs, I succeeded. Let me go back and come back again. I'll keep taking the steps. And take your time.
Right.
At
your own pace.
Thank you. Life is self-paced. Life is self-paced. Our problem is our education system has made it seem like you must all be the same. But our education in Africa is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, the teaching. So now it's part of our lives. You go through school, you go through those routines, and you come and bring it into your life. And then you're like,
so that's what you learn. So that's what you become.
Exactly. So being intentional is about making the right decisions and sticking to it. Even if you fall, it's fine. Get up and continue.
So we are back, and Emmaline, seriously, I really can't end this conversation with you. There's so much for us to talk about. You will come again.
Definitely.
You know, there are some shows that you always find about, 2-3 people who
indeed
constantly come in every season.
Absolutely.
You are one of those. Yes, I'm
Glad
giving you
to
the
be.
badge now. I'm giving you the badge.
Received.
And I have to say a very, very big thank you to Kibo 100% Natural Spices for this lovely gift they've given to each and every one of my guests. So this is for you.
Thank you.
My favorite one, I have to say, is the
Let me
ginger,
know.
garlic, and onion.
Of course.
Now, what
Of
I
course.
love about their product is 100% natural, which I love.
Thank you.
No preservatives.
No MSG.
No MSG. I mean, we need to eat to live now.
Please,
you know, it's
very
really
important.
So you've got everything
To meet my needs.
everything in here. So I want you to go try it, and then I want a WhatsApp. I want your
Trust me.
favorite. Your favorite product, and I also want a recipe.
Definitely.
And I want pictures.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We'll do.
So thank you so much for giving us healthy food for healthy bodies. Ladies, we'll catch you next week. Stay blessed.